Hello again, Chris Lee and Blake Lovell of Southeastern 14 here to give you SEC football power rankings heading into Championship Saturday. A reminder, these rankings presented by BetOnline, the last of the major pro sports leagues, is off and rolling. College basketball ready to go as well. BetOnline remains your top spot for all your live betting action and contests. NFL, college football, UFC, NHL, all in full swing. BetOnline is your number one source for all wagering news, odds, trends, and predictions. All the hoops betting action, along with every sport available at your fingertips with both desktop and mobile access at any time. Head to BetOnline today. Use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. Blake, our power rankings start at the bottom every week. Vanderbilt started the year at number 14. Never moved out of 14 even for a week. Not much else to say there. The Commodores clobbered in Knoxville and end the season on a 10-game losing streak.
On to number 13.
Arkansas. This is the misery tier of the power rankings. And Arkansas had a chance, I think, even just playing a competitive game against Missouri to move up. We felt like this team was more talented than it was, but they just face planted. No showed for a home game with Missouri. Sam Pittman apparently getting another year, but just not a fun year for that program from start to finish. Arkansas is going to be 13.
Yeah, easily the most disappointing team in the SEC this season. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And a very interesting offseason ahead for the Hogs.
Number 12, Mississippi State, which had an odd weekend, played a surprisingly competitive game with Ole Miss from a defensive standpoint. Didn't see that one coming. But ended up hiring a head coach at the same time, Jeff Lebby, the new guy in Starkville. And boy, is he going to have a challenge rebuilding an offense that wasn't very good. Will Rogers has hit the transfer portal, and Mississippi State is going to end our regular season in the number 12 spot. And by the way, some of that by virtue of beating Arkansas a couple of weeks ago.
Yep, like you said, not fun to be in these bottom tier spots, but I mean, what do you say? They lost that game against Ole Miss. Texas A&M just pounded them several weeks ago. So did Kentucky, and not a great finish for the Dogs, but new coach, and we'll see what happens.
South Carolina, I bet on you to beat Clemson. Thought you had the Beamer magic going. It did not happen. Carolina had a chance to move up a couple more spots, but finishes the year with the losing record and sits at 11 in our power rankings.
A common theme here, a very interesting offseason ahead for South Carolina as well. And it's what happens, right, when you get these teams that are, closer to the bottom that we expected to be much higher, were much higher earlier in the season. But, not, again, able to capitalize and get that next win. Like we said, their final 4 games were at home, but couldn't get that final one, which, meant the most from a rivalry standpoint against Clemson.
Florida, kind of out of things to say about the Gators. They gave it a run against Florida State. We're within 2 points with under 3 minutes left. Florida State gets the clincher. Both teams playing backup quarterbacks. FSU even went to its number 3 for a minute, I think, there. Florida at 10. Folks not happy with Billy Napier. I still say what I've said all year. I think the guy needs some time and will do a fine job. I might be in the minority there, but the Gators at 10. And frankly, I just thought with this schedule this season and the talent, it was going to be tough for them to move up further past where they land today.
Yep, some close calls. Think back to the Arkansas game, 39-36. The Missouri game, the way that played out, that Arkansas game was overtime. Missouri won that one in thrilling fashion, 33-31. And then again, you have the lead against Florida State. All the momentum's on your side. Then it swings the other way, and you can't get it back. And so, kind of the tail of the final stretch run of the season here for Florida, ending the season on a 5-game losing streak. And like you said, for a coach that we felt like was entering the season with some questions about the job security, not a great stat to be sitting on entering the offseason.
What a wild season for Auburn. 2 weeks ago, we were saying, hey, this team can win 8 games. The loss to New Mexico State, they had Alabama right there, couldn't close. Everybody's seen the play by now. For lack of a better idea, Auburn at 9.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you'd have thought, boy, what's going to be worse, losing to Alabama or, losing 31-10 to New Mexico State? there's a portion of the fan base that always would say Alabama just because of the rivalry game, but the way you lose the game, it felt like a 31-10 loss. Just the way that you lose on the final stretch there. But again, what else can you say? Auburn fans don't want to hear it. But yeah, that was a wild game, and like you said, a team that felt like it was about to finish strong didn't happen.
Number 8, Texas A&M. The computers would have A&M higher in this based on just overall quality of play. But as you pointed out pre-show, who did these guys beat? And I think the answer is they beat one team that's going to a bowl. If I got that right, that's Auburn. That was way back in game 4. Everybody else, New Mexico, Monroe, Arkansas, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Abilene Christian, none of those teams go into bowls unless there's a 5-7 APR scenario, which I've not tracked all those. And even Auburn, if it loses the bowl game, could finish with a losing season.
Yeah, that's why we put the other team ahead of them. That's going to be at 7 because this number 7 team, which let's just go ahead and do it, is Kentucky. Yeah. Honestly, if Kentucky loses to Louisville, maybe they finish behind Texas A&M. They probably do in our power rankings, our staff composite rankings here. But Kentucky just got a top 10 win on the road. Obviously, all the coaching mess and everything. But that aside, that's why Kentucky gets the nod at 7 over A&M because they've got the better win. Because like you said, A&M's wins just were against the teams they should have beaten, but they just had close losses to the others. But at some point, what does that account? I mean, what does that matter, right? You got to win games, and yeah, Kentucky finishes strong with that win at Louisville. So,
yeah, I mean, is roller coaster of a Saturdays Auburn had. That was like a hold my beer situation in Lexington. I mean, Mark Stoops skips maybe the biggest win he's had there. Looks like he's gone for about an hour, and then suddenly he's not. So, yeah, if he didn't follow that saga over the weekend, you missed one roller coaster ride there. 6 Tennessee. I really would struggle to put Tennessee anywhere else in these rankings. Vols didn't play super well against the good teams, clobbered the bad teams, did that to Vandy this weekend, and Tennessee lands at 6 with an 8-4 record, which isn't bad in year 3 with the quarterback transition and sort of what was viewed as an in-between year in Knoxville.
Yeah, I mean, you say that. I think the expectations were higher than that from the fan base.
Well, they were, but I'm just saying it's explainable.
No, I agree, but I think
I expected more. But
that also, I think shows you where the program is at now. Like it's back to where it used to be, where it's 8-4 and 6th in our power rankings. Probably feels a little disappointing. Because again, you think about where you got to last year, and you always want to replicate that success. But we knew it would be a challenge. But yeah, I think it's the way things have unfolded. At least you got a chance to go win a bowl game, get 9 wins, and continue to build momentum, whether it's recruiting and all that kind of stuff. So not a bad place to be in, even if Tennessee fans would certainly love to be much higher than 6 here.
Number 5, LSU. Jaden Daniels just had an unbelievable season, has had one. Interested to see where he lands in the Heisman pecking order. Just kind of the same story for LSU all year. Can your offense outscore the defense? And LSU did that once again on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, he's 1 or 2 in the Heisman. There's no doubt about that. It's either
it's he, Bo Nix, and Penix, right?
It's he or Nix. I don't think Penix is winning it. Yeah, but it's either Bo Nix. I think is now moved into the front runner role. Daniels slightly behind him from a betting standpoint. Our friends at Bet Online had Bo Nix at -200, Jaden Daniels +160. I know other places it was swapped heading Saturday, but we'll see. Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked by either, but yeah, LSU went as far as Jaden Daniels could carry him, and that's a pretty long way based on how he played this season.
Ole Miss at 4 could have justified Ole Miss at 3, although I think our Missouri fan base would have a hard time, and we didn't either. I thought Missouri won more big games this year, and I think probably finished higher in the computers at this point. Missouri just kind of crept up all year. Ole Miss at 4, Missouri at 3. Both are 10-win teams, man. You anytime you win 10 wins in a season, in the regular season, either of those places, you got to be thrilled. And I think right now, this is the tier of the fan bases that they're the only ones that we're sure are happy starting at 4. I'm not saying some others don't have reason to be and aren't, but I think we're getting into territory now where these teams are thrilled with the seasons they've had.
Yeah, I would emphatically say Missouri should be 3, Ole Miss should be 4. But again, some may beg to differ. But yeah, I look at what Missouri did to Arkansas, and like I said, Ole Miss struggled a bit with Mississippi State, but still, I mean, again, think about just where these two programs are at now, and kind of, yeah, just fantastic seasons. Some missed opportunities. I'm sure both feel that way in those games that they lost, but still, yeah, these are two really good teams, and chance to pick up another signature type victory, and should be pretty high profile bowl games for both of them.
Alabama 2, Georgia 1. I don't think anybody's going to argue that. Alabama's a 5-point dog to Georgia. They will settle it on the field in Atlanta on Saturday.
They will. We'll have your prediction preview, all that good stuff. Will actually be up on Monday, as usual, as we do with our predictions videos. Only one game here to talk about. Then we'll have all the bowl games coming. But yeah, be sure to check that out. Chris and Blaine have already previewed that game. A good in-depth conversation on expectations for the SEC title game on Saturday.
Yeah, basketball power rankings coming too. Yeah, we don't just start covering basketball when football ends like everybody else. We're on it now, so we'll have those ready for you today or Tuesday. For Blake Lovell, I'm Chris Lee. God bless you guys. Have a great day. Thank you for watching Southeastern 14 presented by Bet